Born Pacific greetings. Thank you for the opportunity to speak into your lives today. Welcome to Pacifically Correct. Team, the particular act I want to talk about today is the end of life, or the euthanasia bill. Now, this is particularly sensitive to me because for about 3 months last year, Bob and I travelled the country talking about this referendum issue, and leading up to the elections, was touch and go. We actually lost that particular one, but we won the legalising cannabis one, which I'll talk about a little bit in another spiel. But here we go. Here's my two concerns for Pacific. There are others, but I'll bring those later. First is that we need to understand that because the family don't have to be involved in the discussion, we leave it entirely up to our parent or our grandparent to negotiate or to discuss things with the doctor. And here's the problem. How do we know that our aiga actually understand what the doctor's saying? Because if you go back a step or two, you remember what it was like when we used to go with our aiga, whether to buy a car or to see somebody at Housing New Zealand or to go to the bank to get a loan or something similar. And the palangi's explaining everything very nicely, and our family members going, yes, yes. And then when it's finished, they go off to photocopy something and they look at you and go, what the man say? We're going to strike issues when the doctor's explaining, hey, this is an option, euthanasia, and our particular family member doesn't understand what that is. Then we might get ourselves into some real problems. The other thing too is that the family member doesn't have to tell anybody what they're deciding to do, which is another issue. So I want to give you a scenario. The scenario is you go to the hospital, you drop off a member of your aiga to get some help. You go away for the weekend, you come back on the Monday, and you go to the hospital and they're not there in their bed. You ask the staff, hey, where's my mum, my dad, my aunt, my uncle, my grandpa or grandmother? And they go, she's gone or he's gone. They chose euthanasia on the weekend when you weren't here. And then we say, well, why didn't you tell us? Oh, because the law doesn't involve you now. My concern would be, how do we know that our parent understood or our family member understood what went down? And there's absolutely no way that you can check it out because the law says you don't have to be told anything. The second issue that I have with it is that whenever there's money involved, it does funny things to people. Because the family are not involved, the aiga don't get into the discussion all the time. How do we know that another member of the family hasn't been manipulating or pressuring, or as the palangi say, coercion? How come they're not, are they using coercion to force our family member to go down that road? Because if they say, oh, I think it's the best thing to do, or I want to do this because I think it's the best, how do we know where they got the information from? How do we know that another member of the family hasn't been pushing them? And so that scares me a little bit. There are other issues too, but these two are probably the important ones for now. Team, that particular act comes into power next month, and I think it's really important for us to become au fait with it, because when we're taking our family members to the hospital, and this is going to be an option, we need to be really, really careful that our family member fully understands where this is all going. Team, please talk to your parents and your grandparents about this stuff, because they don't come on social media. That's your role to feed the family. Thank you so much for your time. Let's continue to be Pacifically Correct. Taftai lava, Pasifika.